Senator Cassidy.
Hey, Secretary Collins, how are you, man?
I'm having a great time.
Good to see you here. Listen, I was just with a press conference back home, with reporters back home.
Okay.
I was asked one, and if you need to get back to me on this, I am okay with that. But they asked me about the VA Servicing Purchase Program, or VASP. And there was a COVID-era program helping veterans who, because of the COVID-era shutdown, needed mortgage support. The Biden administration abruptly ended it 2 years ago, according to NPR, leaving veterans in the lurch. There was something put in the interim. Now, apparently, Congress has not filled that void.
Right.
So I'm asking you about this, and if you have to get back to me, that's fine, but also kind of challenging the members of this dais. If Congress needs to step up and do something, then hopefully we will be able to do something. Let me turn it to you.
Yeah, the VASP program is something that we do not need to be in the mortgage side that we were with. The VASP program requires us to take on. So we, on May 1st, did end that part. It was a discretionary part. It was from ours. We did not have, that's not appropriated funds. It was used and generated from inside. We don't need to be in that business. I know there's been a lot of discussion on some legislation that is coming through dealing more partial claims that can actually give the veteran a help in the situation that they're in without having to go into the situation that VASP created. So that's the story on where we're at right now with that. Congress does have a big role to play in that. We look forward to seeing how that legislation, especially the partial claims, comes through.
Sounds great. Next, because Senator Hassan was saying, okay, we need to have some sort of objective analysis, you would agree we need an objective analysis. Believe me, I think all of us would say the VA needed some improvement. So thank you for taking on that big job. One thing that I've been proposing is something called VetPAC, which would be patterned after MedPAC and MACPAC, which gives advice from an independent board objectively to the public and to Congress as to how to reform, in the case of these two programs, Medicare and Medicaid, preserving benefits but doing it more cost effectively for the taxpayer. Senator Hirono and I have suggested something called VetPAC, and we've reintroduced that this year. My question for you is, we had submitted it for the legislative review. Your folks said they liked it, but we've not yet gotten the technical assistance. So it's something that's bipartisan, that would address a lot of this concern, a lot of the concerns being up here to give us objective reality, and you guys like, but we've not gotten our technical assistance. So just a request that, by golly, you walk out here, you call up somebody and says, hey, Cassidy and Hirono want that technical assistance, give it to them.
I think they're hearing that right now.
That's great. Yeah. It always helps when you say it too after you walk out the door.
Okay, we'll get the technical assistance to you.
That's great. Thank you, sir. Lastly, one thing that I've been concerned about, and to see where you are on this. I'm a doctor, and I like the fact that veterans, if they're not near a VA facility, can go to the private sector. But there's not been a good utilization review or prior authorization. Prior authorization can be a bad word, but I just know from experience that if someone goes someplace and there's no limit on the amount of testing that the medical facility can order, there's going to be a lot more tests ordered, and sometimes they're inappropriate, and sometimes they bring on complications. Does that make sense?
It does, and I think that's one of the things that we're looking at, especially in the community care working group that we have currently going, is making sure that we're looking to make sure that those equities are in balance as far as making sure the veteran gets what they need, the doctors have their authorization. We also have an issue, especially in community care, that is something I think you and I have spoken to, and that's our third-party administrator system, which is it tends to be something that is a multiple complaint by many in the system, because it is the sort of conduit between the VA and the community, and that's not been working as it should. What about my first week that I got there, one of the things that I did find out is the groundwork had not been put in place to actually do the renewal of contracts this year on those third-party administrators. There was supposed to have been work done in the prior. So we had to delay that, go to the extra year. So we're sort of stuck in a year here in which we didn't ask for. But it's now actually being able to get to the part that we're putting in questions. We're going to have a contract that's going to be much better in that authorization side, much better in getting the VA and the community on the same page.
I think you're working at least 80-hour work weeks, and so thank you for doing that on behalf of our veterans.
Thank you.
I yield.